Andrew, come here. I want you to read your story. Hey guys, if you really want to embarrass my son, just like and subscribe.
Oh my gosh. My first surgery. One day I woke up and my dad told me and my brother would have to go to the hospital. My brother would have to get a procedure, but I would have to get a surgery in a year. I have to get a surgery. A year later, it would happen. Time flew by. It was already time to go to the hospital. Dun, dun, dun. I was terrified, but my mom and dad supported me through it. My parents said all the parent stuff, like that parent supportive stuff, like, I'll be with you, it'll be okay, it'll be fine, that? You get that right? I was feeling terrified, but confident-ish. I skipped a page. We drove to Portland. It took almost 5 hours. I was tired, but so excited to get to Grammy and Pa's house. I would have honestly fallen asleep on the ride, but I was way too excited to sleep. You're probably thinking, me, the hyper kid, sleeping? We finally got there and unpacked. I just played and played and played and played. I kept getting supported and encouraged that I would be okay. My mom and dad gave me some gifts. I got a cookie for after my surgery, a robe, casual old man pajamas, a blanket, squishy, and a game for my recovery. My mom and Grammy prepared the junk food we would look forward to in time. But then soon it was time for one of the most terrifying moments of my life. We drove to the hospital. Soon we arrived at Dornbecker Children's Hospital. It was a giant building. As soon as I saw it, I was terrified of it. It was like a giant, horrifying monster building that was about to swallow me whole and digest me inside its immense stomach. My dad got there first. My mom and brother arrived soon after. We went up the elevator and looked out the window. Through the window we saw a glass bridge connecting two buildings. In the waiting room, I watched Despicable Me. You know that movie with Kevin, Bob, and Stuart? You know that one? I waited there for an hour. Tons of other kids were waiting too. A little toddler waiting thought he was Hulk Smash wearing a costume that had fluff for his muscles. He carried a stuffed Hulk Smash animal everywhere he went. I wondered why he was having surgery. Water. No water. Not even a sip. I wasn't allowed to have water. I got in and dreamed about eating my cookie, but I wasn't allowed to eat before surgery or else I would have messed up my surgery. I felt starved and scared. Dreaming about my cookie kept me alive. I had butterflies in my stomach and throat wiggling around in there somewhere. I felt like this. No sandwiches? I know. Yum, but butterflies. The cookie, but then the butterflies. It was like the worst. Sorry. I went into a weird room and sat on a chair/couch. It was a cool couch and all, but I was still scared. I gazed at the bed, thought about what I would feel after surgery. I expected big pain, not the normal ow pain, scratch my foot kind of pain, but more like this. Bone things. Yeah, not owie. I get a baby. I've always thought that was the dumbest thing ever. See, I just got paper cut. So, it doesn't even hurt. See? Little tiny paper cut. Next, I changed my clothes into a surgical shirt and pants. They were covered in dogs and cats. I got a mask from the doctors. Not a normal mask, a gas mask. We don't normally wear masks, but because of the pandemic that's been bothering us for almost a year, we're used to normal masks. This will only make sense if you're reading this story in 2020 or 2021. But if you got a time machine, read this inside 2020 because I made this inside 2021. I played a game with my dad while I waited. It's a cool game called Canoodle. And then my dad said, bye. I'll see you in 3 hours, buddy. Wait, go inside the comments and say if you have a time machine to go inside 2020 because I'll just admire you. 3 hours, buddy. The next thing I know, they rushed me on the rolling chair/couch, and they put a mask on me and gave me sleep gas through a tube. I woke up 3 hours later and realized, just as I expected, I was hurting. It felt like the past few months were all a dream. Finally, I saw my brother and my mom and dad. I had a grin on my face and a cookie in my mouth. I was finally free to eat. There would be endless junk food back at Grammy and Pa's. I thought to myself, now if I could just get out of this wheelchair and get to the junk food. Still in my wheelchair, I went down the elevator, and my parents walked and walked and walked and walked, while my brother and I wheeled and wheeled and wheeled, and wailing and wailing and wailing. I was starving from not eating all day. After surgery, I had only eaten a popsicle and my cookie. It was already dark. We went to Starbucks and ordered a mozzarella sandwich and a cake pop. Finally, it was time to find our car and head to Grammy and Pa's. Finally, we got there at Grammy and Pa's, and we had all the junk food and laziness we needed. Sorry, it got stained. The day may have been over, but the pain kept coming. I took medicine every day and night for a week. I wasn't allowed to walk on my own, but you know me. It's hard to keep me down. The pain stuck around for nearly 2 months. I had to be careful and take it easy. Finally, the pain stopped, and I felt so good. One sec. Now I know that God will support me through anything. To be continued. But then about the author, so my mom says, at least. And my mom wrote like most of this, and she gave me the ideas about the author, and she's like, so yeah, this is a personal narrative about Drew Williams to tell the tale. Surprisingly, he wrote this when he was 8 years old, but I did the surprisingly part, you can tell. And 8 3/4 years old. He's a Christian and soon to be a pastor and an author. He still dreams about being a paleontologist. He loves Christmas and movies, and he loves Star Wars and Indiana Jones. He loves marbles, frogs, apples, ketchup. He even got a bottle of ketchup for his birthday. Speaking of birthdays, he also loves his birthday and Leprechaun Day. Valentine's haunted because of his past. He loves reading and can almost always be found either reading a book or writing a book. My mom said that. And I'm
Awesome job, Jill. Awesome. Thanks for reading your story for us.
Okay,